Welcome to the biology class. So students, we have started that unit 3rd, biology and human welfare, where we were doing strategies for enhancement in food production, and today we are going to discuss third part of it, that is apiculture and the pisciculture. And in the previous lecture you have studied dairy farm management and the animal breeding and the various processes. So today we'll start with the beekeeping or apiculture. So what is beekeeping? Beekeeping or apiculture is the maintenance of hives of honeybees for the production of honey. And this honey is obtained from various species of bees belonging to genus Apis, order Hymenoptera, class Insecta, and phylum Arthropoda. There are several species of honeybees which can be reared. Of these, the most common species is Apis indica. This is commonly known as Indian bee also. Other species are Apis dorsata. It is commonly known as rock bee, Apis florea. It is commonly known as little bee also. And one more that variety of honeybee is found in India. It is the exotic species which is from Italy. It is Apis mellifera. It is commonly known as Italian bee, and Apis indica is the most common species. Now the product of that apiculture is honey. Honey is a food of high nutritive value and also finds use in the indigenous system of medicines. Yes, honey is known to us from ancient times. It is known for its taste, nutritive and medicinal value. It is used for treating various diseases of stomach and liver such as indigestion, dysentery, vomiting, etc. Honeybee also produces beeswax, which finds many uses in industries such as in the preparation of cosmetics and polishes of various kinds. So these are the product of apiculture, honey and the honeybee wax or beeswax we call it. So let me see here that honeybees which are cultured to get all these products. So honeybee is a social animal, so it lives in a colony. So what we'll see, what are the different members of the colony of honeybees, and all the members, they exhibit a great example of teamwork. They live in colony by forming a hive. All members have been given a particular work to perform. A normal colony of honeybee consists of about 40,000 to 1 lakh members, and the members of the colony are of three types. These are queen, worker and drone. So let me study about them, their importance as well as their distribution of work also. So here it is queen. In one hive there is only one queen, and it is the only fertile female in the colony. Its only function is to lay eggs. During breeding season, it lays about 2000 eggs per day, and the eggs laid by the queen are of two types. These are fertilized eggs and number 2, unfertilized eggs. And fertilized eggs give rise to the drones, these are the males, while unfertilized eggs develops into the worker bees. So understood children, the queen, only one queen in one hive, and it lays two types of eggs, fertilized and unfertilized. Fertilized eggs give rise to the drones. Drones are the males, and unfertilized eggs, they develop into the worker bees. Now let me see about the drone. Drone are the male bees, and these are developed from unfertilized eggs. Their only function is to mate with the queen. Rest of the time they sleep and eat honey. So their role is only in the mating with the queen bee. Now third, the workers. These are sterile females. Sterile females means they do not reproduce. They are developed from fertilized eggs. So these are the most active member of the colony, and all activities such as collection of the nectar, pollens, propolis, formation of honey, formation of hive, these all are performed by the worker bees. And some worker bees act as guard to save the hive and honey from the enemies. So beekeeping is an easy practice, yet it requires some specialized knowledge in order to increase the benefits. So let we see what are the important points required for successful beekeeping. So understood children, these are the colony members: queen, worker and drone. Now these are the points important for successful beekeeping: knowledge of nature and habits of bees, selection of suitable location for keeping the beehives, catching and hiving of swarms, which is a group of bees, management of beehives during different seasons, and handling and collection of collection of honey and of beeswax, keeping beehives in crop fields during flowering period increases pollination efficiency and improves the yield. So this making of honey, this process is needed by the bees, but it helps in the pollination also. Without that, pollination cannot take place and we cannot get the food from the food crop. So this is the importance of the this apiculture. Now let we see that for management of high yield of honey or for producing good quality of honey, these are some important points we are going to discuss. First, flora or pasturage. So flora visited by worker bees for nectar collection is known as pasturage, and its quality determines the quality of honey. So it should be within the reach of the worker bees. And the quality of pasturage also determines the type, taste and quality of honey. For good quality of honey, the pasturage flora should include trees like almond, tamarind, lychee, bersem, cotton, shisham, apple, mahua, coriander, cashew, coffee, rubber plant, sunflower, guava. So all these flowering plant, if they are present in that area where the apiculture is done, then one can get the good quality of honey. Now next will come to the beehive. So what is beehive? In beekeeping practices, the hive is prepared from the wooden box which contain chambers of egg laying and the honey collection. So the size of the beehive is 46 into 23 centimeter, means 46 by 23 centimeter is the size. Now location of apiary. What is apiary? Apiary refers to the placement of hives in suitable conditions so that maximum amount of nectar can be collected. So the yield of this honey is also depending upon where this means apiary is where are these hives placed. So the best apiary is that in which flora is available within 1 to 2 kilometer radius of the hive. So placement of the hive is very important. So it must be in suitable conditions, means the flora from which the pollens, the nectars they are collected, or the nectar is collected, it must be within the 1 to 2 kilometers radius of the hive. Then honey flow period. So what is honey flow period? The total time period during which bees collect the nectar, and it should be long. So the yield of the honey directly depends upon the duration of the availability of the flora. So for good yield, honey flow period should be long. For this, apiary should be managed where there is availability of flora for a longer duration. Next, swarming. For the reproductive purpose, the new queen leaves the old hive and finds a new place. This process is known as the swarming. And frequent swarming is not good for good yield of honey. So in beekeeping, such varieties are preferred which have low rate of swarming. So understood? Swarming, where the new queen leaves the old hive and finds a new place. So here the variety of bee should be chosen in a way that has low rate of swarming. Now, after completion of apiculture, that is the culture of honeybees to get the honey and wax, we are going to study the next topic, that is pisciculture, known as the fish farming also. You know that fishes are found both in freshwater and marine water, and India has a very long coastline, about 7,500 kilometer, and therefore the fish catching in India is very high. Besides, inland resources of water are also rich, spread in 1.6 million hectares. So all these factors provide a high potential for the production of fishes. So let me see what is pisciculture or fish farming. So fishery is an industry devoted to catching, processing or selling of fish. So different fishes like shellfishes or other aquatic animals. Fishes, they are freshwater fishes also, marine water also. So freshwater fishes, katla, rohu and common crab, and marine fishes, sardines, mackerels, pomfrets, tuna, many are there. These are marine fishes. And what are the shellfishes? Shellfishes, they are like prawn, mollusk and echinoderms. So here there are two terms used for this culture of the aquatic organisms, that is aquaculture and pisciculture. Pisciculture refers to the production of true fishes in artificial culture medium. These are the all these freshwater and marine fishes. And on the other hand, aquaculture is also there. It includes the culture and production of all types of aquatic animals and plants which can be used as food. Now we'll see that other name of the pisciculture or the fish farming, this is known as the underwater agriculture also, since fishes are reared in water. So this type of culture can be called as the underwater agriculture also. Now the types of fishery. So based on the source, fishery is of two types. Fishes are obtained either from the natural resources or by culturing them in the various culture systems. So on this basis, fishery is of two types: captive fisheries and culture fisheries. Captive fisheries, it involves catching of fishes from natural resources like sea, river and ponds. Culture fisheries involves the culture of fishes in artificial culture system. Further, captive fisheries can be of two types on the basis of nature of resource. These are the marine fisheries. So here the fish capturing from sea water, this is known as the marine fisheries. And inland fisheries, fish capturing from inland water resources, that is fresh water resources like river, ponds and lakes. This is known as the inland fisheries. So understood, this is the classification of the fisheries, the types of the fisheries, mainly captive and culture on the basis of source. Further, captive is also divided into two types: marine fisheries and the inland fisheries. Now this marine fisheries, they include the edible fishes, hilsa, pomfret, tuna, mackerels and sardine. As stated earlier, that India has a large coastline, about 7,500 kilometers. So marine fisheries in India has a vast scope. Beside these, animals like seaweeds, prawns, mussels and oysters are also obtained from sea water, and oysters are also cultured for pearl. And culture of marine fisheries, prawn and seafood is known as the mariculture also. So the seafood, actually the animals and plants which are obtained from sea water, and are used for nutritive purpose constitute the seafood, means the food which we are getting from the sea. So what we are getting, the animals and the plants which are used as the food, they have nutritive value, so they form the seafood, including fishes, prawns, mussels, shrimps and lobsters. Now the next aquaculture and pisciculture, already I explained you that aquaculture, this is the culture and production of all types of aquatic plants and animals, and pisciculture, this is the culture of the fishes, true fishes in the artificial culture medium. Mariculture, yes, the culture of marine fishes, prawns and seafood. For seafood, it is the mariculture. Inland or freshwater fisheries. So inland or freshwater fisheries, here the fishes are obtained from ponds, rivers, lakes and streams. These bodies contain important indigenous breeds of fishes. These includes the major carps like katla, rohu, mrigal, these species, silver carp and grass carp also. So some these are the exotic fishes, the silver carp and the grass carp. Exotic fishes means brought from the outside, not found in the India, they are brought from the other countries. So some exotic breeds of fishes are also there in Indian freshwater bodies, silver carp and grass carp. They are edible freshwater fishes. The katla is the fastest growing carp. So this is all about the pisciculture. So students, we have studied today the two important topics, apiculture and pisciculture, and the management of the bees in order to get the product, and management of culture of fishes to get the good that quality and the number of the fishes and other animals. So you revise it from the book also, read from the book also, and ask your doubts.